they brought it back and said, but we're going to let the states regulate it. So every state has a different set of rules for every kind of alcoholic beverage, and sometimes they're different in different counties. There are dry counties next to counties where you can buy alcohol. So you could like buy alcohol in the next county over and bring it home and drink it. You just can't buy it in your county. Or if you live in County A and County B is dry and County C on the other side of that has the alcohol, you may not be able to drive back across County B with the alcohol you purchased from County C, even though it's legal where you are. It's just this mixed bag of nightmare stuff that it's different. It's like a huge checkerboard of madness. And the TTB has like overall federal level, so you have to have your winery license. You have to have your each and every one of your recipes has to be approved according to the weird rules that nobody seems to understand, including them. And then all your labels have to be approved because you can't have bad words on there now. There are words that are not allowed, so it's just complicated and convoluted, and yeah. We need to like wipe it clean and start over, but this is what's built up over close to 100 years since Prohibition.
Well, that and the people who are following the rules now, might be a little ticked if other people get a free ride in.
Well, there's that.
I can imagine why things change slowly. As much as I know a lot of the people in the meat industry in your country and mine are trying to change things for the better for everybody.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're slowly getting the mead rules and getting us broken out as a drink from right now we're clumped in with wine, so they see no difference. And so we go in and go, well, we're putting all this honey in there, and they're going, where's the grapes? That's what it was a couple of years ago, is where's the grapes? Well, we don't use grapes. We're mead. We make it with honey. Well, you can't do that. It's got to have grapes in it. All right, I hear attenuation, Hamish. I can hear it trying to come in, but yeah, that was all wonky sounding on this end. But yeah, so I mean, it took us a couple years of hard work to get the rules changed so that they could say that it was mead and that it had honey in it.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely crazy.
Well, and now we're hoping to be able to say like varietals. We can't get really particular. We can say some stuff about varietals, and it varies depending on who you talk to and on what day. One guy might let you do it, another one might not. There's no consistency right now because we're the redheaded stepchildren. They don't know what to do with us.
And you can't use a vintage or anything because that's only for grapes.
That's only for grapes, yeah. So, and the grape lobby protects that very, very, very closely. I mean, the grape lobby here is really big, and while we're not exactly threatening them, and they're certainly not acting as though we are, they also have their rules, and they apply to them, not us. Even though we're still subject to the rules that we can't use. It's just like, oh my God. You're under our rules, but you can't use these rules to help you.
Yeah, the same thing goes on here with fruit wines.
Yeah.
Hamish, you gotta stop typing that stuff in the box. You type the NRA of wine, and I'm like, how am I not supposed to crack up? He's right,
Right. Our grape lobby is sort of doing the same thing, trying to exclude anyone in the wine making industry that doesn't have their own vineyard and things like that from any sort of benefits. So they make it a bit hard.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, mead has got to come into its own, and I think we're getting there. And it doesn't hurt that, there are different countries at different stages of the game. I mean, we're doing good. Canada's got 35 meaderies. Somebody asked me earlier today how many meaderies there were in Canada, and I looked it up, and it's 35. That's like 20 more than there was 6 years ago.
20 more than you'd think, given how hard they've made it up here.
Mm-hmm. We've got...
Okay, Haim, you're almost coming in. That's painful.
I think we've got...
read it.
I don't know what's going on.
Maybe about 20.
We've got 8.
There he is. You got 8?
Yeah, that's not a lot.
No, but it's not getting smaller. I mean, there were several. I think there were 3 or 4 Australian meaderies that were there that aren't anymore. I know of at least 2 that closed or sold their equipment or something, and possibly a couple more.
There are a lot more than the fully active, dedicated meaderies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's about maybe 15 or so that sell mead.
Oh, that's cool.
Dedicated meaderies, you're probably about eight or nine at the moment. There's a lot of wineries that take it on for their off season, and just try and throw it out local, which makes an interesting product.
And
So
some do it
generally
well,
they're
some are...
Was that
Sorry?
Anne?
Sorry,
Anne
go
or
on.
AJ. Anne, was that you?
Yeah, it was me. Just some of them do it really well, and some of them are just making something to put in a bottle, I think.
yeah, there's a lot of heavily back sweetened with raw honey meads around in local places.
Kind of this is what we think mead is supposed to taste like, even though that's not really what it tastes like.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a shame because the base product could be quite nice, but once you add a bucket load of raw honey in at the finish, you always know.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it always just goes sickly sweet, and yeah. So, but the word is getting out there. I think there's 3 or 4 that I know that are heavily into the startup phase.
Oh, nice.
So there'll be a new one in Brisbane, possibly early next year. Brisbane, so lower Queensland. And there's another one in Melbourne that I'm hearing is starting up as well. So.
Ooh.
Oh, who's that?
I was wondering how long that'd take. Really?
I'm not allowed to say at the moment. So
He throws that little bit.
not
He
us.
throws that tidbit out there and then yanks the bait out of the water before you can do anything about it.
yeah, I'm a tease. What can I say?
Do you find, on that note, is it hard to distribute it? I know you sell online, as pretty much everyone has to, given it's a big country and we're all sort of in different spots. But is there any place that you've great for distributing? Any place that we could go to find a few meads in one place?
No, because there's. See, who have you got? You got Maxwell's out of South Australia, who is a winery that also does mead. They distribute everywhere. They're in all the big bottle shops.
Yeah.
And then you've got the B Mead, which is like a 5% carbonated version, and they're out of New South Wales. They're also in Dan Murphy, so I'm not sure. Well, the big places. So I'm not sure who distributes for those.
Yeah, that's it for Dan Murphy's.
Yeah. We
Dan
have just
has
picked
a
up
couple of others that are occasionally there. I don't have them off the top of my head, but yeah, B Mead's a light, very sweet carbonated mead.
As for distributors, we've just picked up our first distributor in Victoria.
Ooh.
Awesome.
2 days ago with him. So he's going to look after Victoria.
Where can we get it?
for
Where
us,
can we get it?
Yeah.
Talk to the guys at Lotus Beer Collective. So Scott Hunt is running that. He's our distributor. So I know he's got a lot of contacts. I think he was going to be in Warrnambool today talking to some people. So previously, only for Victoria food, we'd been just whatever had been sold on the net and sort of concentrated on New South Wales and Canberra. And we'd been doing that ourselves. So because we're not a huge batch operation, we'd been sort of limiting who we sell to what we could actually supply on a regular basis. So I'd be looking for a distributor in Queensland and some will do South Australia probably within this year. But who, I'm not sure.
Oh, it's just nice to hear you being picked up by someone. I got into this and read about it in a book, and I thought I'm going to buy a whole lot of mead. This is great. I'm going to try it all out. And it's buying individually from meaderies, or there's a couple of guys in Northcote near where I live who will keep, 3.
Yeah.
There's a couple of imports, but that's kind of it.
We're sort of in the process of
Yeah, we've got a
starting
French one and...
Yeah, Shushan, you can get Shushan, and you can get...
They're not bad. They
and
won a
Moonlight.
couple of medals at the Mazer Cup.
Yeah, and Moonlight.
Where are they?
But it's
I've never seen
expensive.
it.
Yeah.
So,
What's Moonlight go for a
It's like
bottle
$40
there?
a bottle.
Oh my god.
$50 for a half bottle.
30
yeah.
Yeah,
Whoa.
depends on the one you're getting, but somewhere between $35 and $50 per half bottle.
Whereas we're used to paying that for a whole bottle, so it is pricey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Moonlight's one of the more premium meads here, and he bottles it in 375s here. But I want to say that I pay like $14 US, $15 US for 375.
Yeah.
Which for
You gotta
just
get it here, though.
for non-premium mead, you're gonna get it anywhere from $10 to $19 for a 750. For like a regular, quote unquote, regular mead, I guess you'd say. It's not being marketed as a premium mead.
Yeah.
And that's where we sort of find it interesting, because we come in behind that, and the bottle shop owners are going, well, we paid X amount of money for it, and the education's not going with it to the public.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we find we do a lot of tastings and educational days, which is really good. And it helps to build the market that we have. But the other mead you were selling, the French one, I don't think I've ever heard of that one before in Australia.
Oh, Chouchon?
Yeah. Where can I find it?
There's a place called Harvest in Northcote and stocks it.
At our local bottle shop.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Is
but
that in,
I'm sure they'd send you one.
It's
Send one
in
to
Melbourne.
Harvest in Melbourne. Okay, I'll check it out.
It's
Always
Harvest.
interested to try
It's
it,
not
mate.
just Harvest Cellars. It's Harvest and something else, isn't it? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have a
something
look.
like that. We'll find you one.
Yeah.
Did you
It's all good.
find, on that note, without being able to taste a whole lot of different meats, did you have to play around a lot to find out what you liked? Because, I mean, you can't just go out and buy a box of 12 assorteds.
Well, you can, but you don't. You do it individually. So I bought from Mountain View down in Tasmania. I bought from Thistle Meadery in South Australia. I bought from Bartholomew's in Western Australia, and from the old meadery, I think it's called, in Wagga in New South Wales, just to get a bit of a range. But I guess I'm lucky in a way in that I can see what things are going to taste like from base ingredients.
Because you've been brewing for so long, maybe.
Yeah, I can actually get a good picture of the end product in my mind and where it needs to go. So it makes it a bit easier for me in that regard.
You got the art of the snack.
Possibly. Either way, we've had some pretty good luck with it. We haven't come across stuff that we haven't been able to get a good result from yet.
yeah, it's interesting because the meads that I've had from Australia, and there's really only been, well, a few. I've had